Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is June 21st, 2020. Happy Father's Day, Howard, and all the guys watching.
Happy Bachelor's Day. This is the day where all the bachelors are going, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for Bachelor's Day?
I just went on a run, so
Nice.
doing a show.
I'm going to do a bike ride after this. So let's get to it.
Let's go. Let me share my screen. All right. So after a bit of choppiness early last week, which was kind of expected after the spike in volatility, and by the way, the VIX is still perking up. We saw some sectors in the market like software and biotech going back to new all-time highs. And my theory is that since the market is forward-looking, or at least tries to be forward-looking, it might be currently pricing in the potential that COVID might impact different aspects of our lives for a lot longer than we previously expected. And this is one of the strongest stocks last week were software stocks, names that basically would benefit if more of us continue to stay and work from home, entertain from home, work out from home. Like if you look at all the software names, I mean, there were just incredible strength in that sector in the first 4 days of the week, and obviously at this point, many of them are super extended and due to some form of consolidation, either slight pullback or just right.
Yeah, I would think that the stores. If we look at walk people through quickly, Simon Prop SPG, which had a nice run, caught that pre. The market's going to open in June. You caught that run. You had to take that. Ran 30%. I think Friday shows, unless we get, and with the volume in this stock Friday, we shows that this could be a false opening or just a really staggered opening. It still might tell stock, right? Like look at the relative strength on that. And then if you look at Amazon and Shopify against that, they just surged last week.
Exactly.
If we look at Shopify, I mean, Jesus.
Yes. I mean, editing online.
I'm not saying I'm holding my last piece, but like those, if the economy, if it was all this pent up demand for getting outside, my eyes and ears are saying I'm not seeing it. And the stocks are saying they don't see it either. Now, I don't know how you can continue to chase these stocks in an environment where there's still an incredible health risk, still a credible, I think, suspension of belief by most of the population that things are okay. And while I'm going out, it's not anywhere normal. Considering with March, April, May, June, we're 4 months in, and the behavior is just really getting set. So, I think I said it last week. Maybe you can. Is this not a moment? I'm trying to treat my portfolio as if there's only a few companies working, and you got to ride those trends. But this is kind of like, a really difficult environment for both longs and shorts.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Definitely the market continues to provide, some incredible opportunities. And as we said, the market right now definitely has the confidence that the Fed is basically going to bail out on everyone. And the market is just trying to figure out who the winners are going to be, the biggest winners. And obviously so far is betting on software. And then towards the end of the week, we saw huge breakout.
I see the Peloton up there. Yeah, that one. So that's but go back to Peloton. Yeah, we've been talking about that since the 30s. I continue to just be bullish on that. That could be an $80 to $100 stock especially if you go into the fall and people have to order these things by the end of the summer to do their fitness. especially the high net worth people. So yeah, Peloton looks good. What was the biotechs you're saying broke out? But the
biotech had a major
yeah, and
breakout.
I've been long this for a while. People know. So this,
if you're following the highest priced biotech, they were on fire the past hour on Friday, which only comes to show you that, I mean, these were institutions buying them. They're not retail money buying $600 stocks that are going up 30, 40 points in 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's not the fractional day traders. Yeah.
So definitely a lot of strength in biotech, and I think
Seattle Genetics too, SGEN or SGEN.
Oh yeah, SGen, another one, definitely a lot of strength. As
Look
I
at
said,
that. I mean, there's just those are not bear market stocks. Yeah, Vertex. Wow, these are beautiful breakouts. I don't follow I just own XBI and IBB. It's just a blend, but yeah, I'll probably be adding to those this week on any kind of pullback at this point. They're going to go. Those are going to go. So these are obviously the money, like you said, money's flowing. People, the rates are low. I think for the last 2-3 weeks, we've been talking about Biotech Island. They were like very volatile. Last week they chopped down, and now the real move looks up with that volume. And then if you have another scare, everybody is kind of scared, but we have another real big country wide little panic. I think biotechs look like they'd probably play catch up to the digital stocks at this point. What is it, LAKE? That had kind of been marking time.
Oh, it's a protective equipment. So
so that one had been marking time and now broke out.
Like APT, the mask makers, the protective gear makers are just starting to perk up. I mean, look at their earnings growth. They're currently one of the highest growing stocks.
Yeah, I mean, I own a few shares. I'm probably going to add to that. These are just ones that I own a few shares just to follow them, and they're not positions yet. But that's one. Yeah, this stock's on fire. Jesus.
The market just keeps giving
diagnostic. Yeah.
Every week. I mean, and as I said, this is my tip.
Sorry.
For a reason. I'm just looking at the price action.
All right. So biotech for sure. I've got a list of biotechs here. I'm not gonna. Can I share my screen? I don't know if you allow. No, you haven't. You still haven't figured out how to let me share it.
I can allow it to share. Let me stop sharing first mine, and then you can share yours.
No, we tried this, but it says host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Okay.
You
try
don't have to
share now.
What's that?
Try to share now.
No. We're gonna have to work on this.
Interesting.
It says host disabled attendee screen share. So I think some on your settings you have to allow it.
Yeah, I need to do something. Let's share computer. Let's see.
Any luck?
Participants.
And I don't trade in biotechs. I use the indexes, but yeah, man, for people that are
I need to figure out how I can allow you to share.
Throw back your screen. Pull up my biotechs here. Let me just pull up a few leaders. So Regeneron, Vertex, Seattle Genetics, Amgen was up big. Dexcom has been a monster. Pull up, this has just been a monster, Dexcom. That's breaking out. Illumina has been in a really wide loose space. I own a few shares. This is one I'm stocking. If you go back and look at that on a weekly and a monthly, this is San Diego company.
Yeah, interesting base.
That's just a massive base. And so I'm pretty bullish on that. I have some smart friends here in San Diego who were buying that dip in March. That's a base that, you can see a $500 stock there. So that's my favorite, because, the business is incredible. Look at the earnings in that company too.
No, not a lot of growth, but it's a big company. So
yeah, and then if you look at the genetic stocks, CRSP.
Yeah, all of them.
This is one of my spec stocks.
edit for them.
A good volume last week. That's setting up for a big race. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So it really, this is where the risk is really on. So people have a lot of risk on here. And it's amazing with the VIX, 35 still.
Yeah, the VIX definitely is picking up. Maybe people
So
buying.
for people who want to try a few of these, just maybe 25 or 50% positions because of the volatility being so high. But it just sinks, I think, this week on weakness, and you should have a list of biotechs up there if you're trading. I'm sure that's what you have up, Ivan. That and software is pretty much what you have up.
I mean, the only other trend that I wanted to mention real quick was we saw some incredible strength in Chinese stocks, which is very
yeah. 10-cent hit pretty much all-time highs, which I'm long.
Maybe someone is buying in expecting a surprising trade deal or something. Like I mean.
Well, this isn't trade, right? This is actually the other way. This is people realizing that the only way to, I think it's the opposite, Ivan. I think the trade deal is going to be a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more about people realizing because of the trade deal, the only Chinese companies you can own and the ones that would list themselves elsewhere are these digital Chinese stocks. And trade war only means that we're never going to get, what he should be negotiating for is digital parity, like I continue to say, and he's not. So people are realizing that this Chinese have a free run here. So if we look at Tencent, who's moved into Indonesia and Eastern Asia, it's a little bit more of a conglomerate. And yeah, I mean, Jesus, look at that base for 2-3 years. So I don't know. I've been, that looks good. Baba looks good, I think.
Yeah, Baba as well is building a big base, and maybe it's a valuation point of view because of the U.S. software stocks, digital stocks have gone up a lot more than the Chinese.
Yeah, it's trading at 20 times next year's earnings, Baba. That's crazy cheap.
Yeah, so maybe it's a valuation point because we're starting to see some of them going private, some of them buying parts of other companies. I think, for example, Tencent bought IQ, which Baidu was the biggest shareholder. So definitely the market is starting to recognize some value in those names. So we're starting to see them perking up.
Well, all I'm saying is if you're bidding up the U.S. names and COVID's an issue in China, they're going to have the same, the DocuSigns or the Netflix of China or the cloud companies of China. I think you'll see Tencent and Alibaba seeing you go through like this. I think Tencent and Alibaba probably play catch up. The bigger names will, especially American institutions, if they got to get into Chinese stocks, those are the last ones that'll move, and they'll gap. You'll see Alibaba gap to 240, 250 if this continues. All right, so it's pent up demand. China, it looks like China, biotech, and American software stocks, which are a little bit extended, and then and you're pretty much low cash.
Low cash.
I mean, high cash.
Always high cash. I just traded actively throughout the week. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think through some of my stocks here. Just going through my portfolio and just take a look here. Yeah, so Amazon, we talked about. Spotify had a great week. It's one we've been talking about.
It seems every time they sign up a big name, they just go up.
I was telling people, the market's voting. They're getting applauded for spending money in trying to own podcasting. So that's kind of what I suspected when it was breaking out about 160. And now, I don't know, hit 240 or something last week. And then, my other favorite new idea that I was sharing with people is Snapchat. They passed Twitter in valuation. They've got Tencent as a shareholder. If you look at the monthly, you have two big volume breakouts. Maybe not so much. Go to the weekly, Ivan. I mean, it's basically at closing all-time highs here. So if you look at the two big volume moves in the last few months, they've been huge upside moves on big volume. and it's pretty much closed at weekly highs, all-time highs, and it's doing it for a reason. I think it's just people are pushing money into bet on the platform play.
Are you
So,
using it?
what's that? I wrote about today. I'm just. I mean, that's the opportunity, right? Is I think with VR and AR, I was having some friends tell me about Oculus, how much better it's gotten, and Snapchat is kind of the original AR company. It's very interesting. And then I would pull up two other ones. Gold, which I'm long, is breaking out GLD.
Exactly, waking up. Yeah,
It's,
very constructive.
Yeah. So this week I may add a little bit there, and then Elastic, which is just search with open source search. I think people are starting to realize that Amazon, which caused them a year and a half of grief, and Mongo, that Elastic is kind of digesting its is kind of digesting all that news, and people are still using it. And I think one or two more good quarters, and that stock's going to be a winner. So, that's going through my portfolio. I'm trying to think what else kind of stands out. Twilio looked like it's breaking out. It's a long time holding one of mine. That looks ready to go again in the direction of the gap. Again, these are not for the faint of heart, but you can see the money is still flowing into digital. Like we look at Boeing and it just can't get, it was a fun little run. And then just like SPG, it's just got so much overhead resistance, and we're in the middle of this nasty recession. That's Simon Property. You see what I mean? Like these are just, they just can't get, I don't know if it's because they're heavily shorted, but I think people have to be really careful. Oh, these are the airlines. I think they could see another leg lower here too.
Yeah, we'll see if Buffett, if Buffett or David Portnoy, who knows?
Well, I think it's just traffic. I went to San Diego Airport. I'm going to drop somebody off, and it's just you can fire a cannon. People are driving. Whenever it's a 6 to 10 hour drive, they choose to drive now versus fly. So I think it's going to be a real tough summer for the airlines.
Right.
Like this is, and then you get into the fall, and if people aren't traveling, these things are going to disintegrate. Okay, I mean, I think from a market perspective, the markets look okay, but there's no room for error, right? If the mood gets sour, the air will come out of some of these tech stocks, and it looks like the recession type stocks will just implode. There's not much room for error, so you got to be careful. All right, everybody, have a great week. Ivan?
All right.